Hi everyone, it's Randee from the Ariana Collective, and if you haven't met me yet, which this is my first video so no one's met me yet before. By the way, I have birds, so if they choose to make some noise, contribute to the video, please don't mind them. But anyway, I've started my small business, the Ariana Collective. I have a lot of support from my fiance, Rob. One day you guys will meet him. And we together have been working towards making luxury style candles. We also 3D print, and we recently got a laser cutter. And so today in this video, I want to do some laser cutting with you, but I'll start off by talking about my current journey so far with the candles. Initially, I started off with these candles. I have these tins that I got off of Amazon, and I have these labels that I also got off of Amazon, but they work with the M110 Mimo, Foamimo, something from Temu. That's where I got it. It's a label maker, thermal printing, and you know, it did the job. I think they look decent enough for just starting out with candles and testing out my small business. This is the light roast scent, which smells a lot just like straight up coffee. Like pure coffee. Oh, earring down. If you are someone who likes fresh brewed coffee, no milk, sugar, anything, this is the candle for you. And it's very nice because the cold throw is pretty strong. The hot throw is a little more subtle, but when you walk into the room and this candle's burning, you're just like, what's that coffee smell? It's not overpowering, which is nice. As a non-coffee drinker, it's nice. So then he decided to get a laser cutter. So I'll show you right now. We have this XTool F1 Ultra. I'll show you a little bit more a little bit later, but we decided to try to start engraving some candle jars. Here's some trials that I was working on. So I have this cranberry Astra candle jar from Candle Science. It's a little sloppy because we're trial running it right now. I thought it's such a pretty jar, and the inside is gold. It looks a little more like white now because of the candle wax. We had our first attempt at using a wooden wick from Makesy. I'm actually surprised because I like the thought of the wooden wick. And I do like the wooden wick, but as you can see, it didn't really burn as nicely as I thought it should burn. And I understand that that could have to do with the wax, could have to do with the fragrance oil. There's a lot of different factors at play. Maybe this was the wrong size wooden wick to try. I don't know. We're gonna try again. But also, it's weird that it's bubbling up like that. But I do know that as far as I've read so far on Reddit, Macy is the best supplier that people have recommended for wooden wicks. So I'm not giving up yet. I will try again. But the reason we're here today, right now, is to talk about the engraving. And so we have been using the XTool F1 Ultra to try to engrave these candle jars. And this was probably the best outcome down here. One of the best ones that we had on this jar. It's nice. And so when I was trying to light through, you can see the light come through my brand name. And I thought that that was just like really pretty and really added to the jar and the look. So the fragrance we're working on right now is a mulled wine fragrance, which I'm really excited about. It smells really good. Then we also tried the ceramic tumblers from Candle Science as well. I actually really like this jar, and I feel like I have more flexibility with colors and sizes of jars with this ceramic jar from Candle Science. I also do really like the engraving. I think it's subtle, it's present. We tried different levels. I like it. I also feel like the wax at the top cooled better in this ceramic jar than it did in this jar. This is glass. You can see that there's like some frosting at the top. Don't mind the wooden wick. We'll work on that. Not sure. which of the two I really want to move forward with yet. I did order a bunch of these, so I'm gonna stick with these for now because I really think they're so pretty. But I don't know, these might pull through. So those are those two. As I mentioned, I bought some more Astra jars. So I bought black and I bought white. And what you can see right now are all of the different trial runs that I've had on the black jar because it just wouldn't produce the same results as the cranberry one, which was very annoying, honestly. But I feel like I spent hours just trying to, as you can see, I kept running out of space. I really tried to make use of my real estate so that I wouldn't have to use a fresh new jar to get this to work. Started a couple flyers, which is not recommended, and don't push your laser cutters to do that type of thing because it's not good. We also have air purifier, so don't play with fire. Not here. Or in general, but anyway. So eventually we got down to using a second jar, and we actually got to the point where I had this reflective version, and as soon as we got here, I was like, actually, I like the frosted version better, which is definitely there's a few iterations of that showing up on this jar. But I was so desperate to try to get it to look like this one, which is still pretty, so pretty. For this jar, the other problem was that I learned the interior, like right in the lip here, it's reflective. And so I learned a little bit about how light behaves during this journey. It was bouncing, it was doing what it needed to do, but then it would bounce back off the inside and in a different direction. So it's gonna be so hard for me to show you this, but sometimes you can see it like doubles down. It doubles on itself. You can see double letters, even right here a little, you can see that little reflective A. Anyway, so annoying, but you know, red is just different from black. They're different colors, they absorb light at different frequencies. That's what I learned. And the next one I have to work on is the white. So this one is not done. There's some frosting in here behind the letters that I'm gonna work through. It may be the case that, you know, I end up where I'm like, oh, actually I liked that one anyway, this version here, but I'm still going to make another attempt one day to get it to be see-through like this one. This is the goal. This is hashtag goals for the black. I am gonna settle for the frosting, which I think actually looks good for the black, but the white is the next project. We're not gonna work on that right now, but today, we're going to just engrave some more black ones. I'm just gonna get a set of the rest of the black ones done, and that is what's going to happen next. Also, I hope you like my earrings. I recently designed these for Black History Month. She's so cute. She's such a queen. They are available in black and white, black and gold, and brown and gold. And I feel like I've worn all the colors and I just love them. I think they're cute. I am thinking of putting the design on the other side as well, so that when she flips, you still see the gold part, but I just haven't gotten there yet. Either way, this version is for sale on my website, and maybe I'll switch it up. I'll test out with it on the second side soon and update it. All right, so on that note, I'm going to get started with this XTool machine over here. I'm gonna set it up. I'm gonna get my safety goggles, because safety first, always, and then I'm gonna get to engraving. I'm gonna do another test run first, just to make sure, you know, everything is situated the right way before I use a brand new jar, because we don't need to be wasting any more jars. So the project is already saved. I don't need this computer. It's my fiance's computer. The project is already saved, it seems, on the XTool, this thing. I don't know what that's called. So I'm just gonna take up this space here and engrave and see that it does the exact same thing as the last step. All right. So he made this jake for me. You can see that when I was doing all my other trial runs, when I was messing up and causing fires. Hopefully I didn't damage the laser also, but so far so good. I'm learning, you know, and he made this for me to be able to just plop the candle in and I can get it to be in the same place, line up every time. I'll show you actually what that looks like. By the way, this must be why people have two cameras. Okay, so we have this piece that already came with the XTool, so you can screw in pieces. And then we have this that he made for me. So I'm gonna set you up right here. Line up the candle. And you want to line up your blue and red dots so that they overlap every time. I try to get it almost perfect, but it's probably never gonna be perfect because human error. And then we close the machine down. Okay, so the runtime for that wasn't so bad. It was about 30 seconds, which is not bad. Like, I can do 30 seconds per jar. And here is the more recent version. I think it looks nice. So before, what we noticed also was that when we would scratch sometimes, the frosting underneath would come off. That's not happening here. So I feel like this is in a good place. It is lined up with the one previous. And so we are now ready to start the other jars officially. Let me just make sure it's straight. Looks pretty good to me. Hopefully it looks pretty good to you. All right, and let's do the other ones. 28 seconds to be exact. And there we go. That's a nice jar. That's a beautiful jar. She's a looker. So the outside of this XTool machine here, it is the same material as these glasses twins. And so they say you don't need to wear goggles because you're taking a class 4 laser. Class 4 laser, and because of this exterior shield here, it turns into a class 1 laser, so you can actually just look with your own eyes. Just make sure it's closed all the way, which is why you see me close it from the front and press down the back corners to make sure that, you know, no light is seeping out. But I like my eyes, so I'm just gonna double up. Why not? And I make sure I'm fully clothed. Who knows? But my fiance is pretty responsible to make sure that we're doing things the right way. So I feel okay. So the light that we're using is called a fiber IR laser. You can't see it on there. I thought you could. Maybe you can there. Yes, fiber IR, which is different from blue light. Fiber IR can cut through metal, but blue light can't. Don't quote me on that. That's just what I think I'm learning. He wants to be in the videos, but he's acting like he's shy. Anyway, but he'd rather just chomp in the videos. You're blocking the light. Move.
I am the light.
You are the light. You are my light. Thank you. Okay, so a couple things I wanted to mention were the reason I kept taking the glasses off every time in between is because you cannot see those dots that I talked about that need to line up. That's for, I guess, focus purposes. I really don't know enough, but I'm learning. And I'm happy to be learning, but it's so that it can focus better, the laser, but you can't see them through this lens. You can't see both of them. You can only see one of them. I don't remember which one right now. Also, if I were to do it with the protective covering of the machine closed, I also can't see through this. So that's why I have to take the glasses down every time in between each one so that I can line them up. And another thought that I wanted to address was, since I am technically burning something, my birds, like, are they okay? They're okay. So the air purifier thing, I don't even know what to call it. It's bigger than the laser cutter. It is intense. It has all these different filters with it. So I can smell a little bit of, clearly something was being burned, but as far as like the actual burning fumes, etc., like there's pretty much nothing. It's almost the same as if I was cooking food, which again, the reason I have the birds in a separate room from where I'd be cooking food is because fumes from Teflon pans, which we don't have any, but I'd rather just keep them away from that. Those types of fumes are not good for them. So I say all that to say that the birds are gonna be okay. They are living their best life. You'll meet them soon. And this air purifier thing is a godsend. So if you plan on getting an XTool, please, 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 please make sure you get the proper air ventilation system and use it. Use it. All right, so we are done with the jars. I think they look fantastic. I can't wait to actually, get some candle in them and get them going. A couple of other projects that I am working on at the moment. I'm making these coasters, so I have I guess I can call it a market. It's not really a market, it's just a vending opportunity in a coffee shop called Matters Coffee. And so I'll be there the weekend of February 22nd. I have been working with cork coasters. However, cork by itself is very annoying. And so I've decided to combine the cork and 3D printing so that I end up with a pretty solid coaster for the ones that will be cork on both sides. And I'm gonna laser engrave the designs on them too, so those will be pretty cool. Otherwise, I'm going to make some 3D printed coasters, which is, you know, for now, my choice of route to craft in 3D printing things, but it does take longer. And so I am happy we have this laser engraver cutter machine, XTool F1 Ultra. But it's a little scary at the same time. So I haven't needed it to actually make the coasters. I'm just gonna use it to engrave on the cork. And so I think they're gonna look really nice. And it's gonna be nice that they don't slide as much, but the 3D printed coasters, they work just as well. So to me, I use that. We've had plenty trial runs of past ones we made because we're making coasters for another coffee shop, the Formosa Coffee in Scarsdale, New York. So right now the Bambu printer is down, sort of. I need to replace the heat bed. You can print PLA on a heat bed without heat. It's supposed to be able to still adhere to a heat bed without heat. But as soon as the Bambu starts throwing errors, to me it's broken. It's broken. I don't want to use it. I don't want it to end up in a place where it's actually unusable because I kept using it. So I plan on fixing that today. I am not a mechanical engineer by any means or an electrical engineer, but you know, they have directions and I can follow some directions. And I'll probably get Rob to help me. So hopefully it doesn't take too long because I've been out of printing for the past, well, that's a lie. I've been out of mass printing for the past 2 weeks, it feels like, maybe even more, 3 weeks, just dealing with this heat bed issue. I have my A1 Mini, which is so cute and I love her so much. And she produced all these earrings so far, so she can do, but she's for like my prototypes. Like when I wanna try something, the A1 Mini's perfect. She's been holding me down with these coasters though so far, but it's again one at a time because the heat bed just isn't that big enough to print multiple things at one time. So I'm hopeful that I can get the Bambu up and running today, and let's go do that. So I'm not looking forward to this Bambu repair. So first they did away with their V2 heat beds, version 2 heat beds, and now all V2 heat beds have to be upgraded to a V3 heat bed. Their newer models will come with the V3 heat bed, and the heat bed is to help certain filament types adhere better to the heat bed. Again, PLA, polylactic acid, which is the type of filament that I use. It is made from resources like sugarcane, cassava, sugar beets, corn, so all just like, you know, vegetables in the world. And so it's super awesome because it's made from renewable resources and they're so lightweight. Like this is so fun. So anyway, PLA doesn't need a heated heat bed, according to Rob, to be able to adhere to the heat bed, but I just can't handle error messages. I prefer that things are working. And so I immediately am just like, oh no, there's a problem. Oh no, it's out of commission. And I just need to get the error message off, which according to Bambu means replacing the heat bed. So that's what I'm gonna do next. Wish me luck. I put the links to the Bambu wikis that I'm following in the description below, just in case you happen to also have a Bambu X1C and you happen to encounter the same issue. You can speed watch me go through this process, but I'm just following the steps line by line. So here are the items that Bambu sent. We have the heat bed signal cable. Let's open that up. I don't know when I'll actually need to use these pieces or if I need to even replace them, but at least now we have them for if it comes up. Silicone glue for reinforcing connections. Dreading that. And the cable. Okay. Next I should put things back in the box so I know what's what, since that didn't have a label on it. Okay, back in the box. Next we have the heat bed sensor unit. More electronics. I think Rob should actually be doing this, not me, but I'm gonna learn it. The AC board. So when you're upgrading from a V2 to a V3, you also need to upgrade your AC board. Another thing to do. Yay. Ooh, this is intense. Okay, not stressed, not stressed. Why do I be stressed? And here is the heat bed. It's huge. Well, probably in a box. In a box. Heat bed V3 X1 series. Well packaged. I love good packaging. We have a lot of boxes we need to get rid of, especially once we got this XTool. We just have like boxes of materials and boxes of parts. I definitely want to get a better organization system here, better shelves. Been eyeing that IKEA Kallax shelf for some time, and soon. Screws, more silicone gel for reinforcing connections. And here's the heat bed. She is pretty. I like, she's clean. Ours is decent too, it's fine, it's clean, but this one's fresh. And the difference is, I think this part up here, it looks different on the V2. I'm sure there are other differences, but That's what I remember seeing the most on their wiki site was this little guy right here. And they say that it's like more user-friendly and easier to install or to work with, manipulate if you need to. I don't think I feel that way soon. So, okay, those are all the pieces. And now we are going to move into the next room where the printer is waiting for me. Rob's on a work call, so we're just gonna, speed through that process, and I'll just be scrolling through the website, following the steps, and fingers crossed that I do it right. Fingers crossed. Okay, let's go. For real now. So we clipped these ends only to realize we didn't have to necessarily do that because, well, this part was not fitting through the opening on the back of the Bambu, but I just learned that I could have pushed this inside part down, which I don't think I'm going to be successful right now, but push this inside part down and pull the wire through to get it off this piece. Anyway, I'm not going to do it right now, but it's a possibility. Because the new heat bed has this other type of end piece, we didn't really need any of that other configuration anyway. So now that heat bed has been removed and we can put this new heat bed on. Okay, so the production specialist figured it out. I mean, I didn't get to show you, but that's okay. But you can see how this piece can come out of the fastener, I guess I would call it, and it can easily, well, now easily just clip back in. So for the future, now we know, now I know, yeah. So while the Bambu was calibrating, I figured I would come and explain a little bit of what my day was like today and what's next. So first, that took all day, and I hope I never have to do that again. The instructions on Bambu's website, their wiki page, was pretty clear, so that part I'm happy about. There were a couple parts where I was like, this doesn't make sense to me. For example, they wanted me to fasten the 6 screws on the new heat bed first before pushing the wires through the back, and that didn't really feel like it was gonna work for me. So I decided to unscrew them again and then send the wires through first and then screw it on afterwards. That was a lot more seamless. It did take me a while to actually get the wires through the small holes in the back, but I realized I should have sent the parts with the thicker ends through first. They're just bigger, and so I should have put those through first because the thinner wires with the smaller end pieces would have been a lot easier to send through afterwards. So lessons learned. Yeah, it just took a long time and it took me all day pretty much, which I know I'm gonna say it's an investment. I wish it didn't take that long, but that's okay. I was able to complete it, and so hopefully after this calibration runs, I'll run a test print and I will see how that print turns out. I also washed the heat bed with some Dr. Bronner's soap, and that will make the print stick better than it did the first time. So fingers crossed that this will all work out. In between, I went to my pole class, so that's why I had a change of outfits, if you will. But I'm glad to have taken some time away from the machine and then to be able to just come back and finish up literally the last few steps. I realized like a few minutes before I had to leave, like 10 minutes before I had to leave the house, I was like, oh my goodness, I only have a few steps left, but I need to make moves now. So yeah, it'll be a pretty successful day. Just not successful in the way that I would have categorized it as being successful, but successful in other ways. I definitely learned a lot. There were a few other differences on the Bambu wiki, like just like minor differences that were a little frustrating at one point. Like at one point I found myself trying to screw in a screw, and then when I looked closer at the picture, so the original screw piece had it had another piece, black piece that goes in the middle between the screw and there were three parts. There was a wire, a circular disc, and the screw. And after I was trying to screw it back, because that's how the original one was, I took a closer look at the picture and that piece wasn't even in there. So I spent so long trying to get the screw to fit, hoping I wasn't stripping the inside of the machine for the screw to go in. But once I took a close look at the picture, which there was nothing in the description about that particular difference, that was helpful. So yeah, it's all assembled. I am proud of me for that, but hopefully the print turns out well too. So let's go see what's up, where we're at. Okay, it's still calibrating, but in more exciting news, so before when I was taking the video portion you just saw, I was like, man, it's dark in here. Like, it's so nice when the natural light is coming through and the lighting is just so much better. But I was like, oh, it's so dark in here. And then I forgot that, so I bought this iPhone tripod stand from Amazon, and then I remembered it even comes with a O-ring lamp. So I totally forgot that I can use that for my lighting. And so in the meantime, this is a better video. This is the box it came in, UB size. I'll leave the link in the description below as well. But now I just had like a little, after my day of just tinkering, if you will, I feel a little bit more happy because I actually have a lighting source now. So one day I'll get a better lamp and lighting in this craft room, tinker room. But yeah, happy about this. This is a good purchase. Okay, now we'll go check on the calibration. Okay, so that was a huge success. I got that error message at the end, a different error message, but as you saw from the website that Bambu directed me to, it's because I was using black filament, which is fine. I will take that error, and there was no solution for that except just make sure that the first layer when you're printing actually adheres to the bed, which is actually something we should always do. Just don't just press print, actually watch the first layer and make sure it sticks to the bed. But anyway, success today, and I'm so excited about this because now I just have projects that have been lining up and waiting for the printer to be back in commission, and now we're there. A couple other things I wanted to touch on was that there were 2 pieces that I didn't use. So I did not use the heat bed signal cable, and I did not use the heat bed sensor unit. And the reason for that was because these actually came as part of the bundle that Bambu was selling at the time. So I was just like, shoot, if we're dealing with heat bed issues, we might as well just get the bundle. And it was cheaper than the heat bed by itself, so it only made sense. And so they're here now, just in case we ever have issues in the future. But yeah, the problem that we had is resolved. And so I'm excited to get back in business, or get back to business with the printer. And that's about it. I'm gonna call it now. Thank you all for joining. It's been a pleasure, and I look forward to next time. See you in the future. Bye.